Good morning. It is Thursday, October 24th. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. It is the 21st, October 21st. First, let me get that right. Before we go on to this story, as we monitor what's going on with COVID-19 here in Barbados. Barbados is now 105th on the list of countries with the highest rate of COVID-19 infections. Overnight, the island climbed another 2 places, up from 107 out of over 220 countries. Barbados has now surpassed Canada and even China, where it all started. Meanwhile, Barbados has the 117th highest death rate per population in the world after being way down on the list. This is, of course, being fueled by the Delta variant and the slowdown in the national vaccination drive. To add to this, we've had 2 consecutive days of 380 plus cases. Other countries like the US, the UK, Canada, and even Antigua and St. Lucia have been easing restrictions significantly. Barbados is under pressure to follow suit, but can we? Well, we have to give us some analysis this morning on what is happening with COVID-19 here. And further afield, Dr. Hilary Moore, she's joining us. Of course, she's our Morning Report contributor and now the coordinator for the Volunteer Mobile Vaccine Unit. Good morning, Dr. Moore. Good to have you on.
Good morning. It's great to be back.
Yes. Let's start there with your new undertaking as far as COVID-19 and the vaccination drive is concerned. Not really new, but in terms of the title. What's happening there?
So initially I had teams that we were going in the beginning doing the home visits to those who are housebound and unable to, obviously get to the sites. We actually, not say abandoned, but we were no longer doing that as of May. But it seems that there's quite a few more people that are still at home that need visits. So we've reactivated the unit and we are going to be trying to service that need in the community. But of course, before we can actually deploy, we need to start getting those lists in place, making sure that we have the correct names, addresses, then coordinating, going to these various locations so that when we finish an area, it's completely done, and then we can move to another area of Barbados. So yes, that's my present undertaking.
Looking at that vaccination drive, because you're now a part of it, of course, there has been a slowdown. It's clear to see over the last month and a half, moving from 30% only to about 46%. That is pretty slow. While other countries in the world are speeding ahead, some countries with 60%, 70%, and we see them opening up. We see the results of more people being vaccinated, fewer deaths, and of course, an ease in restrictions. We can't do that here clearly. Why is there such a slowdown, in your opinion, in our vaccination drive?
So we still have a lot of vaccine hesitancy. Again, this is not about the people who are totally against vaccines. We still have a lot of people that aren't sure whether or not they should get the vaccine. And I don't think that they are being approached as to why they're having so much hesitancy, so that we can see exactly what is the reason and therefore try to see if we can encourage them more to get vaccines or not. And it's scary because I find that it's generally it's not really the older population per se. There are a few, but the majority of them have already been vaccinated. But I would say it's like the under 40, 35 age group that are the parents to the majority of the 12 to 17 age group that have not been vaccinated, that we really need to appeal to, find out what is their reasons and see if we could calm their fears or their anxieties and their hesitancy against the vaccines. It is really daunting, though, that we are still only at 46%. And there are countries like even China. I mean, the reality is China is where this pandemic actually originated from. China is actually at 78% fully vaccinated percentage. And I think what is also daunting is that China only has 21 cases yesterday. The day before was 30. Of that 21 cases in total, 13 were imported. There are 1.4 billion people. Barbados is less than 300,000, and we are reporting 381 positive cases. That is scary. That is something that I don't think people are taking as seriously as they should. I think they see the number 381 and think, oh, that's not so bad. There are countries that have thousands. But look at their population sizes. 381 for us is a lot. That is a large number. Not only that, it was of 2,800 and something tests, which means we're having a positivity of over 16%, where acceptable positivity should be less than 5%. That is saying, and not only is it saying, telling us that, when we test people, how much are positive, you have to worry about how much people are walking about society that may be completely asymptomatic, not even knowing that they have COVID, and are continuing to spread it. We are really not in a good place. I don't think people recognize or understand just how bad a state we are in at this moment in time.
Looking at some of the other countries, not too far away, because people have their eyes on the US and the UK as they start to free up and relax restrictions. Recently, St. Lucia decided to ease some of its restrictions, as well as Antigua, even with still high COVID-19 numbers. Is it safe to do that? Can we do that and still try to control the spread of this Delta variant that is circulating in our society?
Basic answer, no. We can't afford to do it. The reality is, yes, St. Lucia has been reducing their restrictions, so has Antigua. But if you look at their trends, they're having a lot of cases. They still have a lot of deaths. St. Lucia is actually, their population is smaller than Barbados. They're about 100,000 people less than we are in Barbados. They have over 500 and something deaths. Their positivity rate is way higher than ours, and their rate of infection is higher than ours. Again, the reason why countries are having to reduce restrictions is purely economic too, because they're not able to survive. If you can't eat, you can't survive. So their reasons for doing it are not health reasons. Their reasons are economic reasons. I don't think us as a country, if we can afford to stay with the restrictions we have presently, and I think we may need to add a few more restrictions to get over this. This is not a wave, this is a tsunami. I'm sorry, this is not, everybody had peaks and troughs and waves. We are in a tsunami. We are being completely washed out. If we can afford to maintain the restrictions and also add a few more to get through this tsunami, I think that is the way we need to go. We need to make sure that when we come out of it, we come out better and stronger, not worse. I am not seeing St. Lucia or Antigua as good role models. The UK, however, because of their high vaccine rates, yes, even though they're having a high rate of infections also, they're actually having a much lower rate of severe illness, death, and hospitalizations. So they're able to reduce their restrictions because of their high vaccine rate, because they aren't getting so many deaths, because they aren't getting so many severely ill people. They're able to do that, and I would say relatively safely, because they're still going to get numbers. We don't have that vaccine rate as yet. Or even China. China has a vaccine rate of 78%. Therefore, they're also beginning to reduce some of their restrictions also because of their vaccine rate and their reduced numbers of infection. Barbados does not have a high vaccine rate. Barbados does not have a a low number of infections or a low positivity rate. We really are not in a good state, and we really are not at that place where we should be removing or reducing any restrictions.
Well, we are urging more people to get the vaccinations because it's clear the link between vaccinations and the easing of restrictions. The GIS, the Government Information Service, has put out a release saying that there will be a rollout of AstraZeneca shots under the National Vaccination Program for COVID-19, and this is the booster shots. Those come into effect today. So next time maybe we can discuss this booster shot and how this would work, a booster shot for AstraZeneca. So thank you so much, Dr. Moore. Good seeing you. Of course, keep safe on the front lines.
I will, and you stay safe also. Bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moore. We'll take a break here. We've got to look at those numbers of COVID-19 positives right here in Barbados right after the break. Another day of 380 plus cases. This time 381 new COVID-19 cases identified by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory from the latest tests. Those identified include 170 males and 211 females, of which 79 individuals are under the age of 18. There are now 636 people in isolation facilities and 3,422 in home isolation. Going to Brazil now, the Senate there has formally presented a report calling for President Jair Bolsonaro to be indicted on criminal charges for allegedly mishandling the country's response to the coronavirus pandemic. Brazil is second in the number of global COVID-19 deaths. Let's hear this report.
The Parliamentary Inquiry Committee is accusing him of pushing Brazil's death toll to the world's second highest. More than 500,000 people have now died from the virus in Brazil. The draft report still needs to be voted on by the Senate committee, where it could still be vetoed or altered. Well, the senator heading the investigation explained why initial plans to recommend genocide charges were dropped.
Genocide, as I explained once, let me explain again, was not removed. It was swapped for crimes against humanity. He will be indicted for crimes against humanity because of the matters on Prevent Sinwar, Manaus, and indigenous people. What was removed was homicide.
The administration of the United States President Joe Biden has outlined plans to deliver COVID-19 vaccinations to Americans ages 5 to 11 years old, pending expected approval by federal agencies in the coming weeks.
A Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advisory meeting is now scheduled for November 2nd. Once the panel gives its formal approval, vaccine shipments will be sent out within hours, and they'll also include smaller needles needed for injecting kids.
We have more than enough vaccine for every child aged 5 through 11. That's 28 million in total. As soon as the vaccine is authorized by the FDA, so the first step in the process, that's when we will begin to ship, pending the CDC's decision. We'll ship about 15 million doses out nationwide in those next few days, with millions more going out each and every week to make sure that we're matching the doses with where they're most needed.
Across the pond in Britain, the Health Minister Sajid Javid has resisted calls from doctors for a return of restrictions to halt a rising wave of COVID-19 infections. But he has given a stark warning they would be brought back if people did not take up vaccination offers. He says new infections could reach 100,000 cases a day, and he also reiterated that the pandemic was not over.
Javid is urging people to get vaccinated and also to take up booster shots. He says the government won't impose its Plan B yet, which would include lockdowns or mandatory mask wearing.
We've always known that the winter months would pose the greatest threat to our road to recovery. The darker skies, the colder weather provide perfect conditions, not just for COVID-19 to thrive, but for other seasonal viruses too, like flu and norovirus. And ahead of winter, just as we expected, we're starting to see this impact. Cases are rising, and yesterday we reported 43,738 new cases across the UK, up 16% from the previous week. And they could go yet as high as 100,000 a day.
And a lot happening in Europe generally with COVID-19 cases and infections. We're hearing now the Russian President Vladimir Putin has offered the country's workers to stay off of work for about a week starting later this month amid rising COVID-19 infections and death numbers.
President Vladimir Putin has approved a government proposal for a week-long holiday at the end of this month. There's been hesitancy among Russians to get the locally produced Sputnik vaccine, and Putin is urging the public to show responsibility and get vaccinated.
The The situation related to the coronavirus pandemic is difficult in our country. The pace of the spread of the epidemic in many regions has significantly increased recently. You, dear colleagues, have just told me the statistic numbers. In the meantime, the vaccination rate of citizens remains low, unfortunately.
So there's a push for vaccinations here in Barbados and right across the world. Let's go over to Wendy now to hear what she's dealing with on today's edition of On Morning Barbados. Wendy, it's over to you.
Good morning to you, Shane. Good morning to our viewers. This morning, we're going to be having our exceptional youth in the house, and that they are. These are a number of 17 and 18-year-olds this morning who are doing some awesome things. Some of them have already published, some are into filmmaking, and you'll be hearing from Jamal Mosley and Kristen Graves at the top of our segment, and they'll be telling you exactly what they do, Shane. And these young people, they are really making a mark, and they know exactly where they want to go. And Morning Barbados will take them and our viewers with them. Back over to you.
Thank you, Wendy. After the break, the health minister quelling rumors in the Parliament, in the House of Assembly. Let's hear what he has to say about the recent surge in COVID-19 cases and what is happening with Dr. Corey Ford. The Health Minister, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, had to come to Parliament yesterday to tell parliamentarians and really the nation that there is no truth to a social media message claiming that the head of isolation facilities, Dr. Corey Ford, has been sent on leave. The message suggests the action was taken after Dr. Ford stood up to the Prime Minister. However, Minister Bostic sought to put that rumor to bed.
I met with him this morning online, virtually, as I always do every single day. I spoke with him last night. He's not on any form of leave, and he's performing exceedingly well, and he will continue to do so. The Honorable Prime Minister speaks with Dr. Ford every day, even at night, and Dr. Ford sometimes tells me when he calls me early in the morning that he just came off the phone with the Honorable Prime Minister discussing matters. So I don't know where that came from, but let me just say for once and for all, not only is it fake news, but it's a very, very poor joke.
The Health Minister was speaking as the House passed a resolution to extend the public health emergency, which he says allows government the flexibility to manage its pandemic response. According to Minister Bostic, the emergency powers have, among other things, allowed government to designate schools and senior citizens' homes as isolation facilities. He gave an update on 2 recent COVID-19 outbreaks involving elder care facilities.
I am happy to report that even within recent times, we've had 2 situations that we've been dealing with, and the prudent management of the team by isolating those persons in place, and the fact that, thank God, the vast majority of the clients were fully vaccinated, that we are comfortable at this point in time that we don't have any significant issues within those 2 particular facilities.
Local fire officers have been safeguarding themselves against COVID-19 by fully complying with the protocols at the firehouse and in the field. The fire chief, Errol Maynard, told the Morning Report the number of officers who contracted the virus has been very low.
We've had a number of our officers who contracted COVID, not a lot. I think if I held up 2 hands, we would still have a few fingers left. They're probably less than 10. If they're 10, they're a lot that we have had COVID, but we have not had, and we are praying that it doesn't happen, any internal spread. So even if you have 1 officer from one particular station, we have only had that officer, so we can eliminate him through the guidance of the Ministry of Health and the health officers, and we would eliminate that individual, and we would sanitize the station and the equipment, and we will move on. But we haven't had any internal spread, and I take it that the guys are obeying the protocols that we put in place, and they're practicing the social distancing. We provide a lot of face masks for the officers to use when they're on duty. When they are among their peers on the station, we encourage them to use the more surgical masks. But as soon as they get on the vehicle to respond to the public, we ask them to put on the N95 mask.
And the fire chief explains even when they do any type of rescue, precaution is also taken.
Not only in a fire situation. When we go, the protocol that we establish, once you go to a rescue, you put a mask on the individual. You come with your mask, but you put a mask on the individual first. If the ambulance service is there, we ask the ambulance service, and they do it even before asking. Put a mask on the individual, and then we will do the rescue.
In sports, the West Indies suffered a huge defeat in their second warm-up game ahead of their title defense of the ICC T20 World Cup, losing to Afghanistan in Dubai yesterday. Afghanistan made 189 for 5 from their 20 overs. Zazai made 56 off 35 balls and Shazad 54 from 35, while Obed McCoy picked up 2 for 43. The Windies were then limited to 133 for 5. Roston Chase was left not out on 54, and vice-captain Nicholas Pooran added 35. Let's look at the highlights. And that 56-run defeat follows that 7-wicket loss at the hands of Pakistan in the first warm-up game on Monday. The Windies will play their first game of the World Cup on Saturday. That will be against England in Dubai from 10 in the morning. Time now to look at the weather. 27.6 degrees Celsius is where the temperature stands right now. It's feeling like 33 degrees Celsius at 6:29. Wow. Partly cloudy and hazy it is on the outside. The relative humidity stands at 73%. The barometric pressure this morning is up to 1013.4 millibars. At least the winds have picked up, coming out of the east at 38 kilometers per hour. We'll get a low tide around 9:45 this morning. The high tide will come our way at 5 minutes after 4 in the afternoon. Low seas are moderate in open water. Swells are between 2 and 2.5 meters and holding steady. It will be mostly sunny, hazy and breezy here in Barbados today with a few brief isolated light showers. And tonight it will be partly cloudy, hazy and breezy with a few brief isolated light showers. In the Lesser Antilles today and tonight, much of the same, fair to partly cloudy, hazy and breezy with a few brief light showers. And here's a quick look at the international weather forecast. And that's it for your Thursday, October 21st edition of the Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Barbados. I'm Wendy Burke. It's Thursday and it's the day we will be looking at our exceptional youth, our young people out there doing so many great things to bring things up in to our midst. This morning, one of our first exceptional young people is going to be Jamal Mosley. Now, Jamal is only 17, but the former student of the Dighton Griffith School already knows where he wants to be grounded. And his foundation is in the arts. He's into photography, he's into writing as well as acting, and he wants to make a mark for himself in the local film industry. Good morning to you, Jamal.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning and welcome to Morning Barbados. Now, you have an interest and a passion for writing, acting, as well as photography. But the photography was your mainstay, but then COVID sort of dampened that. What happened?
Well, I had a business going on, and to keep myself and others safe, like family and friends, I decided to pause it for a little bit because I would get a few clients or whatever, and I didn't want COVID messing with what I was doing.
Well, that is very responsible of you, because most young people just think about making the money and doing what it is they have to do, but you decided you're going to put others first, and that's commendable. Now, you want to move from just the stills photography into film. What has generated that passion for the move?
I'd say that would be my love for watching movies. I watch a lot of movies and since childhood. So I'm really gravitated towards that. And I've always wanted to be in the film industry since childhood.
Okay, what are the areas that you think you'd be most wanting to focus on? Because you're also into doing some screenwriting. So what are you looking to capture?
I'm looking to focus on screenwriting and directing. Um, I think it'd be better if I work as an independent filmmaker, so I can write my own stories, I can direct my own stories, and let anyone see those stories.
At 17, there's some who might want to say, well, what stories could you possibly have to tell? So tell us about some of the areas of interest that you want to get on film.
Well, my favorite genres are horror and action. I know Barbadians may not really, focus on the horror aspect, but a lot of great stories come out of the horror genre. So that's one genre I would be mainly focusing on.
Okay, and in terms now of the other genre, what scope do you see for it? Because Barbados does have a film industry, but as we all know, COVID has also curtailed that. So where would you be looking once you do your productions to put them? Are you looking at a social media platform, for example?
Well, I'm looking to put them on, yeah, I guess social media, but mostly film festivals. So people might be able to see them in film festivals if they do get them done, and probably streaming services.
Okay, now let's go back to your photography a bit and some of the areas of interest that you have with the photography. Every photographer wants his or her lens to capture something different. What are your favorite types of photography?
Right now, I'm mostly focusing on film photography, although I don't necessarily have a film camera yet. I shoot digital, but I'm trying now to make my photos look as if they were captured on a film camera because I like the vintage look it gives off.
Okay, so you speak a lot about things that are from the past. You want to go vintage, but you're 17. Most people assume that a 17-year-old boy would be more into issues of anime and so on. So what are the influences in your life that put you there? Does it have something to do with the acting that you would have done in the past?
Um, Probably, and I guess I kind of grew up in a '90s home, so I've been exposed to certain things that a lot of early 2000s kids never got to see. I mean, sometimes I speak to some of my friends and they don't even know what a VCR is, and that's kind of shocking to me. So I I feel more comfortable in an older setting.
So you're what we call a young but wise head.
I guess we
Okay.
could say that.
Now, the writing. Tell us what are or what have been some of the scripts that you've attempted to do thus far. Are you actually able to focus on the writing during the pandemic, or is it creating any blocks for you?
I have been focusing on it a lot. Um, I actually just recently finished writing a short horror film that I hope to direct and actually make and show people. Um, and there are others too, like a crime feature, but that isn't finished as yet.
Walk me through the short feature film a bit. What kind of characterizations are we dealing with? Are we looking at a hero, a heroine, a protagonist? What are we looking at?
Well, it's about like this guy who is connected to like these puppets, and he's um, moving on from his old life, and he's going to college and stuff. And as he's about to out, he finds this puppet like by his closet, and he goes to pick it up and put it in a box so it could be given to charity or someone else. But he looks back and realizes that it's back at the closet. And when he goes inside, when he goes to check what's going on, he goes inside the closet and he realizes there's like this mini world in there where all of his older puppets are there, and they try to make him stay.
Okay, so they don't want him to move ahead in life. Now we're talking about moving ahead. What do you see as the future for filming Barbados?
I see that it is growing slowly but surely. It's not there yet, but um, as you can see, recently we've had a Netflix show shooting here. Um, so I think that we're being more recognized slowly but surely, and we're reaching to that point.
Okay, and you intend to be there reaching with them.
Yes, please.
Okay, now you have a very interesting handle on your Instagram, Bajan Billionaire. Do you intend to be our first rich filmmaker?
I don't study richness in that kind of way. Um, the name, I just thought of it, and it had a ring to it, so I just took it. Um, it's not necessarily supposed to mean anything. I just want to create these stories that I want, and I hope people can enjoy them.
Okay, in terms of your family and friends that you might show your writing to or tell about an idea for a film, how responsive are they to those ideas?
Well, I mostly show my screenplays to my friends, just for them to proofread and go through stuff and see if I have to change anything. And they seem to like it. Like the puppet one, they were saying that they really like how different it is and the ideas that I have in it, because that's something that I aim for. I don't want to be too cliche.
Okay, and that's good to know because you are borrowing some from old school, using what's currently here with you, and trying to create something which is different and relevant. Now, let's look at the acting a bit. What have you been featured in?
I have been in a play called Emertonia. It was written and directed by Damien Bishop. I did that for NIFTA in 2018. And we've done other plays at school and stuff as well.
Is that something you want to continue in?
Yes, yes, especially in the film industry. I'm very excited to take it to that level.
Okay, so let's hope that you get there. If we wanted to preview something you would have done, have you put any small blurbs up anywhere online that we can go and see?
Have I? I think not. Probably on my Zero page.
Okay, and what about the photography? Could we view your work there?
Yeah, the photography is also on the Zero page.
Okay, and give us that address so we can find you and see what Jamal is all up to.
It's at Bajan Billionaire.
I can't hear you?
It's at Bajan Billionaire.
Okay, right. Now you have some very captive images of Barbados and what would be or idyllic types of settings. Is that something which gives you comfort to photograph nature in its element?
Yeah, it does give me comfort. I like to be outside a lot. I don't like to be too cooped up in my home. So I go outside and get some fresh air, and then probably get some ideas from certain sceneries or surroundings around me.
So you're not the typical 17-year-old who's on the box?
No, I'm not.
Well, that's good. Jamal, I am wishing you all the best as you move forward to make these efforts on. Any thoughts about film school?
I keep thinking about it. I'm probably going to do more courses and stuff, and probably try to get hands-on experience so that I can be more comfortable because that's how well I learn.
Okay, so you're
hands-on.
more a hands-on learner as opposed to an in the classroom type. Okay, because
Yes,
I was
please.
going to ask you if you haven't explored the program at UWI's EBC Center.
No, I haven't. I'm trying to get more of hands-on experience for now.
Okay, well, here's the best of luck to you, Jamal. That's Jamal Mosley, who is a photographer, actor, and writer. And I hope you find time to finish that second screenplay that you're on right now. Whatever's blocking you will go away and you'll be motivated to continue it. So best of luck to you, Jamal, as you continue on your path to filmmaking.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was Jamal Mosley, our first exceptional young person this morning. Morning Barbados will be back. Welcome back to Morning Barbados. It's Exceptional Youth Thursday, and we have another young man with us. He's 18, recently out of the Queen's College and now at the University of the West Indies. I say good morning to Kristen Graves. Good morning to you, Kristen.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, now Kristen is a budding motivational speaker. He's also an author and a musician, and all at 18, Kristen. Now, tell us about the digital ministry which you have, because God is the person who directs your life. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, for those who may not know, my ministry is entitled 1 Minute Insight Ministry, and it's found on Instagram. And what I do is I create motivational and inspirational videos. Sometimes I even create devotions and also some quotes so as to help persons to navigate throughout life. And we know that sometimes life can get very difficult at times and we may want to give up. So all the ministry is about empowering persons, about helping persons each and every week to face their week with a positive outlook towards their life.
Now, I note very well that you said individuals. You're looking at people here, not just those who are your peers, etc., but you're looking to reach all. Why do you target everyone as opposed to just those who are, say, within your age group, who you know what their challenges might be day to day?
Well, that's a good question. I believe that all of us go through challenges at some time, and no matter how old we are, no matter how young we are, we all need encouragement each and every day. We need encouragement to face each day, and I feel like I can reach more persons. I could reach both. I can inspire both the older and the younger persons. So I'm trying not to limit myself only to I call it the younger folks like me, but I'm trying to empower persons from any age because we all go through a challenge at some point in life and we all need that person to help us and to encourage us along the way.
Okay. Do you use your music in your 1 minute ministry?
Well, not exactly, no.
Okay. Well, I would think that, because most musicians who live a life in Christ usually seek to render and praise through that format.
Sure.
Okay. So what are you doing with the music currently?
Well, from time to time, I will play at church with my church band, and I'm also a member of the Barbados Pathfinder band. So usually, I would play the clarinet there with that organization, and usually, from time to time, when we have the opportunity, we will play at different engagements. But since COVID, that wasn't really the case because we have to socially distance, and a lot of things are being canceled or postponed, for lack of better words.
Okay, so you are a young Adventist, and I know the Pathfinder band quite well. I have some family members who play in it as well. So, and you all recently were known on the last parade we had. You all showed your stuff, so that means you're in good grazing there, as we say, Kristen. Now,
Yes.
the book. How is it that at 18 you have decided to write a book and you already have it out there? Tell us about it.
Wow, I love that question. For me, there was a period of time within my life that I was struggling, I was really struggling, and even with my friendships as well. Sometimes we don't recognize how powerful our friendships can be. I know many times our parents would tell us to choose your friends wisely, and yes, we would hear them, but we might not always listen to them, for lack of better words. And it's important for us to recognize that who we surround ourselves with will ultimately influence and help shape the way we act and the way we think. And for me, that as a result of I call it my lack of good friendships when I was younger, it resulted in me making some bad decisions and what I recognized is that I was starting to face more and more challenges along the way. And it was through my journey as from young on to now, it's through my relationship with God that has helped me, even from the encouragement from my mom, my friends, even persons who I look onto on the social media, that I have been encouraged. And for me, is like every day I am trying my best to keep pressing on. Sometimes, like with this COVID-19 virus, you might feel like we're down and out, and we might even feel like sometimes we don't even know how to continue on. But it's like for me, I had to recognize that I need to keep pressing on. I need to keep moving forward in intentionality. And for me, basically, the book came out of my journey and from out of my struggles. So yeah.
Okay, and that's why it's called A New Look at Life, a journey into your best life. So you are on your way to living your best life, Kristen.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm happy that you're living it in Christ. Where can we get the book?
Well, currently the book is available from directly from me, so persons they can email me at GREAVES Chris KRIS 14 @gmail.com, and they can inform me that they're interested in purchasing a copy of the book. They can also follow me on Instagram at @1min_insight, and they could also use the link in my bio, and it will carry them directly to the order form where they can put in all their information and they can grab a copy from myself. I'm hoping to get the book in some bookstores soon, I'm hoping, and maybe even on the international market.
Okay. Now, one of the things now we're speaking international market that you want to become or you're pushing toward becoming is a motivational speaker, and you want to be seen on the international stage. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. The reason for this is because I don't want to I don't want to limit myself to only persons I know, neither only in Barbados. I want to have an impact on the lives of others, on the lives of youth, not only here in Barbados, but also I call it around the world. And we might go through certain things here in Barbados, but there are other persons everywhere in other countries, who need the help as well, and who need guidance, and who may not have that strong support system. And I believe that I have been called to be a positive influence on the lives of persons, not only here, but in other countries as well.
Okay, well, let's hope that you continue to be that positive influence on others as well as on UE. Now, tell us about your Instagram and this 1 minute insight. How can I connect with it?
Okay, well, as I was said previously, it's found on Instagram, and basically every Monday I would post a new motivational video. It deals with many different topics. So as I call it, as I am led to create these videos, then I will share them on Mondays. And I particularly chose Monday because I find that many times, and I was here when I was younger, sometimes we might find it hard to get up on Mondays. We might find it hard, well, for me, to go to class, or for some of the older persons to go to work. We might find it hard to get the motivation, I should say. And for me, I choose to post every Monday, and basically the inspiration, or I call it the video, is to help every person to navigate throughout their week with a positive mindset, because, or how I should say this, our perspective and the way we think will influence the way we act. And this is also the reason for me writing the book and titling it A New Look at Life, because sometimes we may have this one-sided view of how life should be, but many times God has called us to have a new look at life. We are to think on things above and not things...
Yes. Now, I'm happy that you're finding multiple perspectives. Thank you so much this morning, Kristen, and good luck as you continue your journey.
Thank you.
Next up on Morning Barbados, we will be having a recap of the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's now 2 minutes past the hour of 7, and we go now to Shane Seeley for a recap of this morning's news.
Here's your 7 a.m. headline news. It's not a wave, it's a tsunami. That's how Barbados' COVID-19 numbers are being described after 2 consecutive days of 380.
Shane, stop and put on the mic. Well, let's just get that little technical hitch straightened out. But we will be hearing more news about what's going on with COVID, and there'll also be some more exceptional young people coming up after the break, as well as COB, who are celebrating 38 years. We'll be hearing all about financing from them. Let's go back now to Shane. We have that matter sorted. Back over to you, Shane.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Audio issues there. Our first story in our 7 a.m. headline news, it's not a wave, it's a tsunami, and that's how Barbados' COVID-19 numbers are being described after what have been 2 consecutive days of 380 plus cases. Dr. Hilary Moore gave the assessment today on the Morning Report, explaining that Barbados' positivity rate has now shot up to around 16%, when under 5% is what is the acceptable standard.
This is not a wave, this is a tsunami. I'm sorry, this is not, everybody had peaks and troughs and waves. We are in a tsunami. We are being completely washed out. If we can afford to maintain the restrictions and also add a few more to get through this tsunami, I think that is the way we need to go. We need to make sure that when we come out of it, we come out better and stronger, not worse. I am not seeing St. Lucia or Antigua as good role models. The UK, however, because of their high vaccine rate, yes, even though they're having a high rate of infections also, they're actually having a much lower rate of severe illness, death, and hospitalizations. So they're able to reduce their restrictions because of their high vaccine rate, because they aren't getting so many deaths, because they aren't getting so many severely ill people. They're able to do that, and I would say relatively safely, because they're still going to get numbers. We don't have that vaccine rate as yet.
And the coordinator of the Volunteer Mobile Vaccine Unit also gave her take on the slowdown in the national vaccine drive.
I find that it's generally it's not really the older population per se, there are a few, but the majority of them have already been vaccinated. But I would say it's like the under 40, 35 age group that are the parents to the majority of the 12 to 17 age group that have not been vaccinated. That we really need to appeal to, find out what is their reasons and see if we could calm their fears or their anxieties and their hesitancy against the vaccines.
Her comments come as Barbados is now 105th on the list of countries with the highest rate of COVID-19 infections. Overnight, the island climbed another 2 places, up from 107 out of 220 countries plus. Barbados has now surpassed Canada and even China, where it all started. Meanwhile, Barbados has the 117th highest death rate per population in the world after being weighed down on the list. Barbados is rolling out its AstraZeneca booster shots under the COVID-19 National Vaccination Program from today. It will be offered to fully vaccinated persons aged 70 and over, and those who are immunocompromised and who had received their 2nd dose before the end of April. These individuals may visit the Masonic Center at Salters in St. George or any other vaccination site to receive their COVID-19 boosters. Meanwhile, there were 381 new COVID-19 cases identified by the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab from the latest round of tests. Those identified include 170 males and 211 females, of which 79 people are under the age of 18. There are now 636 people in isolation facilities and 3,422 people in home isolation. Health Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick says there is no truth to social media messages claiming that the head of the isolation facilities, Dr. Corey Ford, has been sent on leave. The message on social media suggests the action was taken after Dr. Ford stood up to the Prime Minister. However, speaking in the lower house of Parliament yesterday, the Health Minister sought to put that rumor to bed.
I met with him this morning online, virtually, as I always do every single day. I spoke with him last night. He's not on any form of leave, and he's performing exceedingly well, and he will continue to do so. The Honorable Prime Minister speaks with Dr. Ford every day, even at night, and Dr. Ford sometimes tells me when he calls me early in the morning that he just came off the phone with the Honorable Prime Minister discussing matters. So I don't know where that came from, but let me just say for once and for all, not only is it fake news, but it's a very, very poor joke.
And that's our 7 a.m. headline news for this Thursday. I'm Shane Seeley. Back to you, Wendy.
Well, thank you, Shane. And Morning Barbados will be back with the Crumbs question of the day, as well as a lot more exceptional youth, including a Hey Ambassador, someone from the Lex cohort, and even more. We'll be back after the break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And welcome back. It's now time to go to your phone lines because it's the crumbs question of the day. 228-5562, 228-5563. Our question this morning: what is the price of a snack combo at Crispy's Fried Chicken and what does it include? What's the price of a snack combo at Crispy's Fried Chicken and what does it include? Call us if you know the answer, 228-5562, 228-5563 to that crumbs question of the day. What is in that snack combo? I'm wondering. Yes, good morning to you.
Morning.
Do you have the answer to my question? What's the price of a snack combo at Crispy's Fried Chicken and what does it include?
The cost is $12.99 and it contains 2 pieces of chicken, a bun, and chips.
Okay, well, that might be a price you know of, but that's not the price at Crumbs, so I'm not too sure where you're going to get that price, but it is not at Crispy's Fried Chicken, and that's not what it includes, so I'm sorry. The price of the Crumbs snack combo, Crispy's Fried Chicken actually, what is in it? And what does that combo include? Call me, 228-5562, 228-5563. Let's find out what's inside that box. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell me the answer.
It is 2 pieces of chicken, chips, and a bun, and the price is $15.50.
No, it is not. And it contains a bit more than what you quoted, and that price is off range. So I'm sorry, that's not the answer to our question this morning. So 228-5562, 228-5563. It can't be that difficult to guess what's in that Crispy's Fried Chicken. I mean, they have all kinds of flavors of chicken in that box. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes?
The combo includes 3 pieces of chicken, 1 bun, and 1 side. And it's for $19.99. And the sides are French fries, sweet potato fries, grilled potatoes, calypso rice, garlic bread, sweet buns, or a small macaroni pie.
I know all those things are available at Crumbs, but not in this snack combo. I'm sorry. 228-5562, 228-5563. It's so difficult to guess what's in that box. It's not a Pandora box. It's delicious chicken. Good morning.
It is, good morning to you, ma'am. It is 3 pieces, 1 side, and a bun for $19.99.
No, it indeed is not. Nobody seems to know exactly what is in this box. Crumbs has some of the best crispy fried chicken. What's in the box? Okay, well, nobody got it correctly. Let's hope somebody will be able to answer this question from Crumbs Bakery today and their crispy fried chicken combo. Morning Barbados will be back after the break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados, and it's time to talk money. In fact, it's time to talk anniversary with City of Bridgetown Credit Union, who are celebrating their 38th anniversary. And I say good morning to Mr. Joseph Holder, who is the lending manager at COB Credit Union. Good morning to you, Mr. Holder.
Good morning, Wendy, and how are you today?
I am well, and I'm hoping that maybe I can qualify for some of what you have over there at COB.
Certainly, so long as you're a member of the family, you're entitled to apply. Wendy, let me say good morning to you and to the CBC TV Mornin Barbados viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure to join you on your show.
Oh, well, we're happy you're here. Now, how has COB been, first off, been keeping its members safe without compromising the service that you're giving to them? There are a lot of concerns with COVID. How have you been keeping them safe?
That is, Wendy, thank you for that question. That is actually foremost in our minds as we seek to continue to deliver our service to our members. What we have done is we have a hybrid approach to our service delivery, where we still have in-house service delivery where persons can come into the institution and transact some of their businesses. We find that we have more persons who are doing the cash deposit withdrawal transactions coming in-house, but we have been able to have a reduction in the traffic coming through the physical facility relative to our loan products. Because what we have done is actually have them use our various electronic channels to communicate to us via our loan offerings. You can go on our website and you can execute your loan application there, or you can contact us via the phone and we will reach out to you thereafter, or you can just send us an email and we will get back to you and process your application via that mode.
Now, outside of the application and being able to go online, what about the financial counseling I might need to direct me, especially since this is COVID time and, you know, maybe I might have been laid off and I still want to get that project completed. I still have some savings in. How are we working the counseling out?
Counseling is very important. As the onset of the COVID pandemic kicked in since 2020, March 2020, we went straight into planning mode. And what we would have done is we would have opened up set aside a special telephone line, which is 59, you will call 430-5909, and we will have persons there who will be ready and available to answer your query and to help you through the process that you might be wanting to discuss. One of the other things that we would have done is that we would have extended moratoriums to some of our members who was experiencing challenges relative to layoff, and those who are experiencing challenges relative to reduction in their work hours, and as a result affecting their take-home pay. What also we would have done is we would have looked at some of our members' portfolios as they come to us, their debt portfolio, and we would have discussed how we can restructure their loan product that they have and give them either reduced payments, extend the terms. We work with our members. All we want them to do is reach out to us, really. Come in, let's have a chat, or reach out to us via the telephone, more so would be a welcome one, or by our social media services, and let us help you through this situation that we are experiencing in our country.
Now, given that there would be concerns about the unemployment levels and what's actually going on in the economy, have you tailor-made any of your financial packages, loan areas, to be a best fit solution? Have you come up with any special deals for us?
In actual fact, yes, the economic and the pandemic situation is facing us, and it's hitting all of us. And that's why at this time it's important for persons to look and focus on budgeting and make sure that they budget wisely. Earlier, or generally, you would say budgeting was used for as a financial tool towards getting some what persons call luxury things, may take a trip overseas or look to buy a new car or that sort of thing. They would use it for planning for educational purposes, and some of them would even use budgeting towards their first home. However, we see budgeting at this point in time as more like a survival tool in this environment that we are operating in. For instance, persons now have to make sure that their dollar stretch beyond what they probably used to have it utilized for before. So as a result, they have to give that every dollar that they have a purpose, and that means to make sure that they don't just spend on a whims and fancy way.
So you're encouraging financial prudence then?
Very much so, Wendy. That's the operative word, financial prudence at this point in time. They need to tell their money where they want it to go rather than wonder where it went at the end of the day. So in order for they to be able to know where the dollar have gone to, they have to plan up front so that they can channel those funds in the right direction.
Okay, one direction that people have been looking to channel in is that of clean energy solutions. We're talking a lot about the Millennium Goals, about having a cleaner environment and so on. What have you been offering to, say, me as a homeowner or a small to medium-sized person who may want to, say, bring some of their areas off of the grid and into the renewable energy space?
Fantastic question, Wendy. And I will take you back to, I think it was on Monday that our CEO was with you, and he would have shared with you that the exciting things that we are doing here and that our board has positioned us to offer to our members. Recently, we would have increased our lending limit from its previous amount to about $2 million to any individual member now. And that has put us in a space where we can now assist members in meeting the exact need you have just described. We are now in the planning stages to roll out our green loan offering at the commercial level. Already we have applicants who would have booked loans already for the domestic use, where they would have installed solar voltaic panels on their homes, and they are already reaping the benefits of that investment. We welcome members to come and chat with us so that we can walk them through the process towards reducing their electricity bill and gaining some returns from that investment. As you are aware, there's a looming increase in our electricity bill, and now is the time for members to take advantage of the opportunity to invest in that renewable energy space.
If I'm interested in commercial lending, what can COB possibly do for me at this point?
Again, we will be focusing on the renewable energy. As I spoke to you earlier, I spoke about the domestic arm of it, and that's where persons can put it onto their homes, and they can also reap the rewards of the tax benefits that is enshrined in taking up a product and an offering like that. Now, for the commercial side of things, let's say, for instance, Wendy, that you are the lucky owner of a plot of land, let's say an acre, 2 acres of land, and it's just lying there, sitting there, and you want to make sure that you get some returns from that plot of land that is sitting there. Or you might own a building, you might own a warehouse or something somewhere. You have the roof there that is just exposed to the elements and it's not producing anything. Why not put it to good use? You can come and sit down with us, bring your plan, let us sit down and look at how we can put the financing behind the product that you're seeking to invest in. Already we have booked one of those loans at the commercial level, where we are just waiting for the person now to finalize the regulatory requirements and have the different licenses and permits installed, put in place, and that project should be up and running very soon, somewhere by the end of this month, early in the new year. We are welcoming additional projects such as those, and we are open to sit down and discuss with any of our members a product on projects such as that.
Okay, finally, tell our viewers how they can find you.
We are situated, we are the first credit union that was in the city, in the heart of Bridgetown on Broad Street, and we have 4 branches. One is at Broad Street, our main branch. We have a branch at Manor Lodge. We have a branch at the Black Rock, which you call the Carlton Complex, and our newest branch is at the 6 Roads, just off the where you will call that, just off the roundabout at 6 Roads. That's our new flagship up there, and we welcome you there to interact with any of our staff and to get your financial needs met at our City of Bridgetown locations. You can also contact us via our social media or Facebook. We also are on Instagram, and you can also call us at 430-5900. I'm Joseph Holder.
Thank you so much, Mr. Holder, and I'm sure those people out there who are seeking loans and are members will be reaching out, and if not members, they'll feel free to join. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yes, Mr. Holder.
Okay. Yeah, just one last thing as well. As you are aware, we are still in the hurricane season, and I believe that persons need to be aware, and they need to take opportunity of the offering we have in that space as well. With the recent freak storm and then the hurricane passing us, we recognize that persons need to have ready available finance to be able to do a number of things. They can do the retrofitting of their homes to protect against, let's say, the onslaught of high winds, so they can install shutters. They can also install water tanks, or they can come and get their loan that can provide them with an electric generator where they can have power in the event that the national grid should go down. Also, in that regard, you can also take it to install security cameras and install a security system at your home. So it is a new product that we have designed with a suite of offerings within there: water tanks, generators, shutters, security system for your home, or you can just carry out needed repairs to your home. It is called our Home Protection Suite of Loans. So you come in, talk to us, and we can put you in a position of safety to avoid the elements.
Well, I'm thanking you that COB wants to keep us safe on all scores. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Holder, the lending manager at COB Credit Union.
And thank you for having us, Wendy. Have a good day now.
You as well. Morning Barbados will be back after the break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And it's time to meet some more exceptional youth in this world. Today we are going to one of the Hey ambassadors, and he's from Ecuador, Mr. Darian Castro. He is a biologist and researcher from Pontifical Catholic University in Ecuador. Good morning to you, Darian.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to me to be in this incredible space. Thank you.
We're happy to have you in this space. And we understand that you're doing incredible things with your research and where the whole UNESCO projects are concerned. Tell me a bit about them, how you're using your science to be able to help the world.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I am a researcher in Ecuador, but in the same time, I try to support all of these initiatives, especially in the climate change issues, or even in a policy making in my country, of course, with the scientific support. So basically, with the hate campaign, we tried to debunk all this information around not only in the high schools or with the young people, even in universities and institutions. For example, I have experience in that with my university. We will have a project for a volunteer in the student community in the Catholic University of Ecuador. And it's related, obviously, with the climate action, climate education, and sustainable development, with some projects that have potential in different areas like agriculture, biotechnology. And right now we will be an observer in COP26 too, and we will try to show more about this potential that we have as a nation and even as a region with this hate campaign movement.
Now, you have your own project. You founded your own project, Wings for Amazon, and you also do a lot of work in the area of mental health and so on. Tell us a bit about those projects.
Yeah, well, with the Wings for Amazon, in the beginning, was a family organization that are related with the animal protection, and that was since 32 years ago, where that started with my mom and my grandma. And right now, during these last 5 years, we started, obviously with my career as a biologist, we started to study more about the consequences of the climate change in that aspect, in a scientific level, and especially in the ecology. I participated and collaborated with important scientists in my country, like Dr. Renato Valencia. I worked with him in a project of forest dynamic in the Yasuni National Park in Ecuador, and it's an international study, international research that I was part of that. Okay. And right now I am focused in another effects or consequences of the climate change, like in the health, mental health, or even in a human health too. We will have a research article with the collaboration of Yongo, that it's the youth area of the climate change in UN, and we will have the opportunity to publish a research article in an international journal about the human health and even the human rights too, that are related with the effects of the climate change in that area.
Another area that you're doing is that of agroecology and resilience, and you will be participating in COP26 as a delegate in Glasgow. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, obviously I'm so excited about that, and I think it's a great opportunity for me. It's unbelievable that, especially in these times, difficult times, with these COVID-19 pandemic, in many cases the people stop some activities or stop some initiatives. But I thought that in that moment with a quarantine, extreme quarantine, I tried to to develop new projects, and one of these projects is the agroecology development with some biotechnology solutions to enhance the crops and agriculture, but in a different way, not with the nitrogen pollution and eutrophication of the water sources, to that pollute that nitrogen residues in the ponds, in the rivers, and it's very complicated to control that. And we are trying to use natural and sustainable solutions to to protect the crops and at the same time enhance the production of that.
Well,
And we are collaborating with some students in the Catholic University and with a doctor from University of Stockholm. It's
Okay.
called Katarina Paulos.
I am so happy that you are looking not only to help in terms of the Amazon forest, but you're also looking at your water resources and your food. And Darian, I
Yeah.
wish you a successful COP26 and that your voice will be heard and that we can help change what is going wrong within our atmosphere. Thank you so much, Darian Castro,
Thanks a lot.
Hay Ambassador from Ecuador. Do have a brilliant day. That was Darian Castro all the way from Ecuador. Morning Barbados will return after the break. And we're back on Morning Barbados. Now we've had 3 exceptional young men. It's time to welcome an exceptional young lady, Yasmin Harper. She's the owner of Little Island Art. Good morning to you, Yasmin.
Good morning. Morning. Hi.
Now, Yasmin, you've made Barbados your home, having moved from New Jersey here back in 2009, and you attended Lockerbie, and you are currently teaching art at the Schoolhouse for Special Needs, an area that you love. Tell me how you managed to marry your art and that passion for working with special needs children.
Oh dear. Well, I think I've always loved art, and then from going to Lockerbie and finding a connection with loving kids and I don't know.
Yes. Okay. Now, what type of art do you do mainly? The name is Little Island Art. That suggests to me that you like depicting scenes of what you love about Barbados.
Sorry, the connect. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm not hearing you.
You're not
sorry.
hearing me. Okay.
No, sorry.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Goody.
Yeah, the connection's
Right.
a bit.
So I was saying that in terms of your art, the name of your studio, Little Island Art, it suggests to me that you produce things that you like about Barbados and that you see as being fresh and different. Tell me a bit about your work.
Yeah, so I work generally pencil and paper, or I also do illustrations. So I like a lot of fine detail which if you do have a chance to look at my logo, you'll see that I love palm trees. I try to take my roots back to the Caribbean. So I love to illustrate, really anything.
So what's your creative process like? How do you engage? Where do you start? Are you a night painter, a day painter? What's your process?
I'm definitely a day person. I'm not a night painter. I need a tidy, clean space, even though it doesn't end tidy by the time I finished. But I need a tidy, clean space. Generally, I like to meditate sometimes before, just to gather my thoughts.
Okay, that's your area. Now, let's look a bit at what products and services you produce with your art. Do you sell miniatures? Do you do portraiture? Exactly what do you offer me as a client?
Okay, so I make handmade greeting cards. And then I also do personalized greeting cards. So if you want a greeting card for maybe a wedding or a special occasion, where you want to write someone's name on the front, or you want to have a special photo that you have that you want illustrated onto the front of the card, I do that. I also do bespoke illustrations and branding, like logos, and anything, honestly, anything that needs drawing, I love to draw, so love the challenge.
And when did this love and passion begin? At what age?
I think I've always, art is me. I mean, I can't tell you when it started, and I hope it never leaves. I've always had a passion for art. Whenever I would go out with my family, as long as I had a sketchbook, pencils, and pens, I was happy.
Yeah, okay. Now, in terms of your client base, what do you cater, would you say, to a wide demographic? Who are some of your main clients?
So it started very small, just family and friends, and then I kind of grew a bit of confidence, started my Instagram page. Then I started attending Brighton's Farmers Market and other little pop-ups that came about. And from there, I guess my clientele just kind of, it's not specific. I get people from all over Barbados. I get some tourists that come in that have obviously seen me at Brighton or word of mouth. So it's kind of all over. And I like it like that. I like, sometimes I'm doing branding for high-end West End kind of West Coast kind of people. And then sometimes, I get other little illustrations for new starting businesses. So it's nice to be all over.
Okay. And is there a major project that you have your eyes set on? Like, is there a dream project that you're saying, yes, Yasmin wants to do this. This is who I want to book me. This is what I want to draw.
I wouldn't say, not in the terms of I wanting someone to book me. I have my own dream project of like owning a gallery and getting into the Barbados community, supporting young local artists and other little things. I don't really think, it's not a dream per se that I want someone to come and tell me this is what they want me to do. It's more of a personal dream.
Okay. And how are you going to go about getting that gallery? Do you think maybe government should be providing more funding to the artistic community to get them where they need to be?
Yes. Yeah. I think we all know really in Barbados that art is not funded properly. I mean, we do need a public gallery in Barbados, a proper one. But I mean, what I would like to create is a gallery, but it's also like a cafe type of environment where I could do like summer art lessons for kids and all sorts of different activities that would also be included with the art gallery.
So basically, what you want is an all-purpose space where
yeah,
you
like
can
a community.
not only like a community-based art
I want to
space.
create that type of community. I find that's lacking in Barbados. I mean, there are certain places in Barbados, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like the connection between people, it just doesn't seem to, it's not where it could be.
Okay, and before we wrap up, tell me, Yasmin, how would I find you if I wanted to have something done?
You can find me on Instagram at Little Island Art Barbados, or you can email me at islandartbds@gmail.com, or you can also telephone me at 288-5023.
Okay, well, I thank you, Yasmin, and I want to encourage you to keep scribbling, keep drawing, keep enlightening, keep teaching. And you have a brilliant morning, and thanks for joining us here on Morning Barbados, Yasmin Harper.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was Yasmin Harper of Little Island Art. Morning Barbados will return. And it's time to learn more about some more exceptional young people in this country. And we're going to go to another young lady, Iman Wilson.
No.
And she's one of the ambassadors with the Femlex cohort. Good morning to you, Iman.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, you're most welcome. Now, you have been described as resilient and also having a high devotion to interfaith harmony, community, and personal development. You also sit on the Barbados Youth Development Council, and you're in the Pink Parliament.
Yes, I'm a Pink Parliament alumni now.
And you're also on your way to becoming an attorney at law.
Yes, and a future diplomat as well, I'd like to say.
Okay, so that means you are setting your bar quite high and ensuring that you reach it. Now, you are into your entrepreneurship mentorship program with the cohort. 3 weeks in, how's it going for you?
The mentorship program is going really great. I'm really enjoying the program thus far. We've learned a lot this far, and from today we're going to be starting our legal mentorship program. So I'm really excited to see what the Femlex program has in store for us.
Okay, and your community development now, you're very passionate about that. Do you think that what you're going into is going to take away from that?
No, definitely it's going to be contributing a lot to it. I'd say for the Femlex program, quote unquote, I had been praying about it. I was actually looking for a mentorship program that was going to help contribute to my development and also to help me build more advocacy into pursuing something that I loved.
Okay, and how have you been doing what you love in Guyana?
Thus far, I've been working with a number of youth organizations. Particularly, I've been sitting on the advisory board of Be the Change Trust, which is a local organization set forth to help eradicate poverty within the Linden community, particularly the Black 22 Linden community. So I've been working along with the board to ensure that we are doing what we had planned from the start.
Okay, and do you find that it's been easy to reach who you need to reach in this pandemic climate?
Honestly, no, but with networking with a number of young people in the Caribbean and internationally, and with the use of technology, I've been able to reach some persons, but we still haven't reached our target as yet.
And what is that target?
So we are hoping to reach at least 50 persons to get donations towards our program, because currently at the end of this month, we're hoping to at least share out hampers and food supplies to persons within the community, at least 60 or to 70 families at the end of this month coming.
Okay, and the disabled, as well as women and children, are among those that you're targeting?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Now, in terms of your associate degree in law in Barbados, and now pursuing the bachelor's, how has studying been for you in this environment?
Honestly, the online environment isn't great, but I still have to ensure that I am doing what is necessary in order to get my honors at the end, because that's my aim, and I've been working very, very hard in order to get that degree and to graduate with honors.
Okay, and those would be first class, no doubt, that you're aiming for?
Yes, please.
Okay, now outside of pursuing that, and you said you're now Pink Parliament alumni, what support do you give back to the organization?
Thus far, Pink Parliament has been strategizing what they can do to help us, but we haven't really started the alumni program for this cohort, for the upper part as yet. They've only been working with the third cohort, but hopefully we'll get that started soon.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you're going to be beginning the attachment part in terms of the legal side. What's your area of interest when it comes to law?
So my particular interest would definitely be family law, and I'm hoping to pursue corporate as well as international laws.
Okay, because that is going to take you where you want to be in terms of having that ambassadorship.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I want to wish you the best of luck, Iman, as you continue your journey toward becoming a legal luminary within the Caribbean.
Thank you so much.
Okay. That is Iman Wilson, who's with the Femlex cohort. She's an ambassador out of Guyana, doing great things to take herself forward in this process, also pursuing law at the university. Now, this morning, we are going to be looking at our pink ribbon competition. We're going to show you those landmarks once again as you prepare to get your emails in to identify each of the 5 landmarks given on those 5 days. Here's the landmark number 1 for you. Landmark number 2. And number 3. And remember, you have to write down the landmark with the correct date shown and send all 5 to Morning without a G, MORNIN, Barbados at cbc.bb by the 29th. Landmark number 4 and number 5. And we were able to bring you these landmarks for Breast Cancer Awareness Month with the thanks of our sponsors, the Abeds, Stanswell Scott, Crane Beach Hotel, Emerald City and Carlton and A1 Supermarkets, and the Bougainvillea Beach Hotel. Now, and the email that we should send it to, morning, MORNBARBADOS at cbc.bb, and send them in by the 29th of October. All 5, each day the correct one. Now, a look at our vaccination centers for today, the Thursday, October 21st. We will be going to the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic in Warrenton, Michael. They're open from 9 until 4:30. Princess Margaret Secondary School in 6 Road, St. Philip, from 9:30 until 2:30 p.m. The Mile and a Quarter Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Peter from 10 a.m. until 4, and the Masonic Center in Salter St. George from 10 until 4:30. You can also visit building number 2 at the Harbor Industrial Park in St. Michael from 10 until 6. That's our latest opening center. And those who wish to receive first doses are advised to walk with their identification cards. We will also be having some community pop-ups. Those will be at the Mount of Praise Wesleyan Holiness Church in Chudabert, St. Michael from 9:30 until 3:30. The St. Bartholomew Primary School in Parishland, Christchurch from 10 until 3. Springer Memorial Secondary School in Government Hill from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Massey Distribution on Spring Garden from 10 until 4, and Heinz Transport in Vauxhall, Christchurch from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. The AstraZeneca and Sinopharm will be the vaccines available to adults, as the Pfizer vaccine is available for second doses for students and adults only. Those are your vaccination centers. Remember to walk with your identification, and if you are going for your second dose, take along that blue vaccination card which contains the information from your first dose. I believe that's it for this morning. Okay. Yes, now for a quick video of how the COVID-19 virus spreads. It's important to know if you're being vaccinated, what you're being vaccinated against, and how you can avoid it.
The COVID-19 virus spreads mainly between people in close contact with each other. It spreads most easily in crowded settings, closed spaces with poor ventilation, or through prolonged contact with an infected person. This is because, as a person infected with the COVID-19 virus breathes, talks, coughs, or sneezes, liquid particles of various sizes are expelled into the air. Larger particles are called droplets. Smaller particles are called aerosols. You can contract the virus if infected particles come into contact with your eyes, nose, or mouth. Whether you are inside or outside, always maintain a physical distance of at least 1 meter from others. When you are in an enclosed or poorly ventilated space, the virus can spread more easily. In these conditions, aerosols can remain suspended in the air or travel farther than 1 meter. When you are inside, make sure to stay at least 1 meter from others. Wear a mask. Open a window to improve ventilation. And limit your time spent in these settings. To protect yourself and others, always follow these 6 precautions.
Now remember to follow all of those precautions to keep yourself safe. You're sanitizing, you're distancing. Follow the protocols. Get vaccinated. Well, that's Morning Barbados for this morning. Do have a brilliant day. I'm Wendy.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.